Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron. Instant match reaction, Manchester United 3, Everton 1 at Old Trafford in the FA Cup third round this evening. Everton crash out of the FA Cup, another season without a trophy. But let's be honest, we obviously have spoken a lot recently about the similarities to last season, and obviously we went out in the fourth round last season to to Palace, and realistically going out in the third round is not much different. I am disappointed, I am frustrated, but as I said, it's another season without a trophy. But as I said, the similarities to last season, we know there's slightly more important things to deal with, and that being a relegation battle. But I actually thought Everton were okay tonight. I don't think we were brilliant. I don't think we were great. I'm not going to sit here and go over the top, but I thought we done okay. I thought we battled. I thought the effort was there. I thought the intensity was there. I thought there seemed to be a little bit more confidence from the players in the system, or even though the system, of course, was reverted back to the same one that we played at the Etihad a week or so ago. 5 at the back, Ben Godfrey slotting back in there, and very sort of, try and not concede and try and keep Manchester United out and try and stay in the game. And obviously within 3 minutes of the game, we'd gone on to concede. But, I remember sitting there in the stadium, standing there in the stadium, should I say. And when that first one went in, I remember thinking, well, what do we do now? Where do we go from here? Where does Frank Lampard go from here? Because this whole system, the whole sort of approach to this game was to, sit 11 men behind the ball, strong back five, and stay in the game, don't concede. And when you concede within the first 3 minutes, you're sort of scratching your head thinking, well, what do we do now? Do we persist with this, style and tactic and formation, or do we, do we change it? Do we opt for something else? And the manager kept it the same, to be fair. And I thought Onana played well. I thought Garner was significantly better than what he was against Brighton. I still don't think he was great, but I think he was significantly better than what he was against Brighton. Thought Damari Gray looked bright, albeit typical Damari Gray fashion, not really having much of an output, but he looked bright. He was attacking players. He looked confident. He was more involved than what he certainly has been in recent weeks. And as I said, overall, I thought it was a better performance by Everton. A performance that, as I said, it seemed to be a little bit more fight, a little bit more intensity. And as I said, the players seem to understand their role a little bit more, which clearly tells me that that is the way forward now, especially between now and the end of the season. The way forward is just 5 at the back or 3 at the back or whatever you want to call it. Sit back against teams and play the resilient way, because I thought Ben Godfrey done okay. I know off the ball his positioning was a little bit iffy, and I know he's caught a little bit of criticism for a few things, but I thought generally he looked okay in there, and I thought we looked better with him in there. But sometimes the luck just doesn't go your way, does it? As I said, we concede one, we get back in the game a few minutes later with a scrappy goal. I'll admit it's a poor one to concede by David De Gea, but we're back in it, and all of a sudden we're back in the game, and you're looking at half time and you're thinking, well, we could either see this out and I think it would have gone to a replay, or we can get at these, because we weren't seemingly uncomfortable. We were giving them opportunities, don't get me wrong, we were giving them time and space in the box, and that needed to be stopped. But we were also, going forward ourselves, and we were also pushing the ball forward. And the biggest, again, concern for me is something I spoke about after Brighton. Was my concern isn't really the goals we conceded, or the fact that we conceded 3 in a short period of time. My concern is the fact that when we go forward, there doesn't seem to be any real idea. There doesn't seem to be any real cohesion. There doesn't seem to be any quality. And there's a one thing having no quality in there, and needing to bring in a couple of players. There's another thing when the players you've got don't seem to have any ideas. If they didn't have the quality to pull them off, then we'd be looking at them, attempting them, and thinking we just need better players in those areas. But there doesn't seem to be any ideas. There doesn't seem to be any sort of plan when going forward. It's almost like we're shocked that we've got the ball going forward, so we'll just freestyle whatever we do with it. And that was very much what Everton were doing when we were, having opportunities in the in the Manchester United half. There was a couple where we'd get into good areas, whether it be Gray, and then he'd run into a defender or Onana, and his pass just wasn't great. There was a really, really good opportunity where Damari Gray's in a great position, and he's on the edge of the box. He could shoot, he could try and dribble through and win a penalty. He doesn't. He plays this weird sort of pass that you're just sitting there thinking, I don't even know what the idea behind that was. But we stayed in it in typical Everton fashion. Manchester United get a second goal, a ball comes in from Rashford again, giving an on-form player too much time and space in the box. Cuts across, Conor Cody clearly tries to clear it or get a leg on it or whatever. It goes into the back of the net, and you're sort of thinking, right, this is a real uphill battle now. We've come back from 1-0 down away from home. Are we going to come back from 2 down? And we did. It took us a little bit of a while, but we did. Nice little passage of play, nice little 1-2, ball gets cut in, and it hits Dominic Calvert-Lewin purely and goes in, and you're sitting there thinking, right, we're back in it 2-2. As I said, see it till the end, or go and maybe try and push for a third, but obviously it was ruled out, and I've seen why it was ruled out. Damari Gray is offside by no more than a toenail, but it's ruled out, he's offside. Again, Man United still persist. Man United, I think, managed the game quite professionally in that last 15-20 minutes. They just didn't really panic, didn't really, even though Everton, I think, were trying and there was more effort there, Manchester United were quite professional about that. And we just couldn't. We plugged away a little bit, we puffed a little bit, but we just couldn't get back in it. They obviously got the penalty at the end, which, very similar to our penalty against Brighton, meant nothing. But, yeah, as I said, sort of just leaves us in the same position as we were before the game, really. I've seen a few people say Frank shouldn't lose his job based on that tonight. Don't get me wrong, I think if Frank Lampard loses his job before the Southampton game, it won't be based on that tonight, because that was an improvement to Brighton. But let's be honest with ourselves, it was never going to be hard for us to improve on what that Brighton performance was and that Brighton result. So whilst there was an improvement, whilst there was a bit more intensity, whilst there was a little bit more, effort, I still think there was a distinct lack of ideas in the final third. I still think that positionally and, certain players weren't looking comfortable at times. And I still think that his in-game substitutions weren't particularly great. So it's not this game that he'll lose his job on. It's the fact that we're in, we're in a position in the Premier League that we are, because performances against Wolves, Brighton, Leicester at home, Bournemouth twice, haven't been good enough. Yeah. There's not really much else to say, is it? Without the FA Cup, we can now focus on the league and focus on hopefully going and strengthening the squad, because this manager stuff is boring me now. Make the decision, one way or the other. Get rid of him, and if that's the case, he should have gone a week, 2 ago. Get rid of him or back him. Whatever you're doing, the priority is bringing in players, because without improvements this month, we are going down. But there you go. Let us know your thoughts. If you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like. I will do a play ratings, but it'll be tomorrow morning, so look out for that one, because I'm going to go to bed. Massive thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.